House leadership has set an ambitious timeline to advance a bill on Trump's America First priorities with extending tax cuts, slashing government waste, securing the border, and creating energy independence. And joining us this morning to discuss how all this impacts you is Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Good morning to you, sir. President Trump met with the House GOP at their annual retreat in Miami this week with a goal that it looks like it's going to be one big beautiful bill, as he calls it. What is the benefit of rolling these initiatives all into one piece of legislation?
Well, I'm personally hopeful that it's one bill because I do think that provides the best path to getting these things across the finish line. You know, the old analogy of eating your vegetables before you get to dessert, I think kind of comes into play here. There's a lot of things that some members of Congress want to see done, like border security, energy production, getting our nation's finances under control, and of course renewing some of these expiring tax provisions. And if we keep those all together, I think it's much more likely that we can get a big package to the president's desk and enact it into law.
Trump's 2017 tax cuts, as you mentioned, the biggest priority right now. Talk about what this will cost Americans and businesses if it's not passed.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about well over $4 trillion in terms of tax increases. That's a massive hit to the economy. It's a massive hit to the family budget because some of these provisions are directly pointed at families. We doubled the child tax credit in 2017. That would go back to its earlier level of $1,000 per kid. The standard deduction was also doubled, so a lot of people, more than 90% of Americans now, are able to file their taxes using the standard deduction way easier. In addition to paying less, it's a simpler process that would revert back to 2017. So we're talking about a huge hit for American families and, of course, small businesses as well.
More importantly, you say this is a rare opportunity to kind of clean up the tax code. What would you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, the tax code is a cluttered mess, and we made a lot of headway in 2017. But since then, we've added all sorts of provisions onto the code. Things like the electric vehicle tax credit was supersized under the Biden administration. That needs to be eliminated or reined in. We have the solar energy tax credit, the SALT deduction, which was capped. That's the state and local tax deduction. There's one for the individuals that was capped, but there's still a corporate one that points at businesses that should be capped or reduced. There's a lot of clutter in the tax code. Cleaning it up, making it simpler, fairer should absolutely be one of the top priorities of Congress right now.
There is a very slim House majority. Do you think the GOP will unite behind this?
I'm hopeful. You know, there's a lot of factions within the Republican Party pulling in different directions right now, but hopefully they see the greater good here, making sure that families don't experience that huge tax increase, making sure that we get energy production back to where it needs to be to lower costs. There's a lot of really important priorities there, and I'm hoping the greater good carries the day over those smaller interests.
I think a lot of GOP lawmakers also hope that this tax provision will not be held hostage in order to get the border security bill passed. Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Jen.